Well, good morning, good people. Mark Holmes here at the Red Brick House on a cold. It got really cold last night. It got down to 7 degrees. That's the coldest night we've had. It's a little chilly down here. It's reading 69 when we had it set on 72. Although some of that may be because with all the work that we did on here, with all of the plaster, all the soot and stuff, forgot to change the filter last night. So that may have reduced some of the airflow. But we'll have more opportunities to find out if we're going to be warm enough or not. So yesterday, live on the show, we ended up opening up the fireplace, and I'm really ecstatic about how it looks. And I went through because this part of the brick had crumbled, this leg, and I went through. Let's go ahead, look at it. I went through and I re-bricked this up yesterday. Now you see the brick over there is a little bit more scarred and things like that, but these are the bricks that came out of it. I ended up filling in some of the places that were the deeper crevices with some of the lime mortar, or the lime render in here, but we're going to go through and plaster this up. It's so cold outside that I don't know, it's going to be interesting mixing that up. I guess I'll do it on the back porch. I did bring in the putty from down in the basement and the sand. The sand in the bucket was literally frozen like a block, so it should be thawed out at least. But what I'm going to do, we're going to, of course, wet this down really good. We're going to have to do that 5 or 6 times at least to really let the brick absorb the moisture in here. And I'm going to basically make a frame to go around this, so that way I'll bring this out even with the the wood fascia that's on here, and be able to seal it up and keep it from going on the brick. I want it to be flush as possible with the brick edge, so that way it'll look nice and clean. What I may do, and I'm thinking about this, is we don't have gas here. I could technically get I guess I could get propane, but I don't really want to do the gas and stuff. I may get a fireplace, another electric fireplace piece to go in here, and that way we do have a little extra heat, and to have a look of it being like a fireplace. I think a glass log set in there might not look bad. You let me know what you think. I know it's not what they would have done, but the problem you have with these old fireplaces is they're not very deep. You can see how shallow it is, and the problem is when you do make a fire in it, that it is smoke in the room, and then of course the old chimney is not lined. I don't want to do any of that, but I do want to have a look of a fireplace. And another way to look at this is, and this is where we've wanted to keep the house to feel like you're in an old house. And right now it's kind of chilly down here. It feels like you're in an old house. But by saving the door like this over here, saving the entranceways here, even though they're kind of gone downhill, they're not plumb or anything. Actually, trying to take that wood off of there now would end up destroying it completely. But to keep that original feel, but also to recognize that this house has been constantly changing and evolving over the years. When you look at the fireplace up here with the brick where we have that just open, and then you look at the other side where the early 1900s they ended up putting in the coal burning fireplace, because that was what was the next generation. Or up in here where you had the stovepipes that went in because they had the wood stoves. Those were advances in technology that the house ended up taking. And quite frankly, if you think about it, us putting in an electric fireplace is part of that evolution as well. So maybe not. I don't know. I do like having, we've got this one that's in here, which is digital. It's electronic. It's high tech in comparison to what they would have had. But it also puts out a little bit of heat, which is nice on those cold days, to get a little extra burst. It's easy. We don't have to worry about it burning down the house. So I'm okay with having things that are a positive and a reflection on the time. You tell me what you think, because I think it's cool. because I can look and see my plastered walls and so on. I can see my old drop leaf table and my ice maker and things. Oh, let me turn the lights on in here too. Check this out. This is another piece that we have right here too. Oh, I need to, uh-oh. We have to fix the handle here. The screw came out. But this is actually an RCA record player. And we just brought this down, and I'm going to have to figure out the vibrations of riding on the truck ended up loosening the screws for the handles and stuff. Let's see. Look at that. That's the radio, and we see we have some of the those are light bulbs, but some of the extra tubes that went with this thing. So that's the radio. I do need to fix the veneer, but this is actually a drawer for the cabinet. Let me see if I can push it. Hold up. There we go. We have more tubes and stuff here, but there is the record player, believe it or not. So this is another one of those pieces. Again, the veneer is coming off, and we're going to need to, you know, it's not the end of the world to fix that. But this is another piece that we have in here that is a Radio Corporation of America. So that's how we're marrying the time periods of the house. So you'll see the fireplaces, you'll see where technology changed with the coal burning fireplace to where we have our electric heat one here and so on. You'll see the, you know, refrigerator right there, of course, and of course we've got the real refrigerator in there that works really good. So, or icebox I should say. So that's the nice thing about this is it's filled with a lot of memories and mementos from a lot of different places and backgrounds and stuff. So I'm going to get my walls wet over here, and then we're going to go ahead and get to work. Well, it's another big day here at the Red Brick House, or should I say just another day here at the Red Brick House, where we're still working on fixing things. So here's what we're going to do here. We've patched up the brick and stuff inside of there, which is great, and so on. We actually may need to go ahead and do a couple more in there. I may go ahead and take care of those as well. But what we're going to do is, you can see how there's a big gap that's in here with the mantle that goes around. Some places it's closer than others. But what we've done is we built a frame here because we want to fill this in so it's flush and flat across here. So this is equal to the facing right here. It's equal to the facing down there. And we're going to keep wetting this down a couple more times today to make sure the brick is good and wet. And then we're going to start plastering this. Now the fun part, of course, is we are plastering or mixing plaster outside where it's about 28 degrees today. It's definitely chilly, but I've got all my materials at least inside here, so they're warmed up enough that when I go out there and mix it, that it won't be too bad. So let's get this stuff wet some more. One thing that we did a lot of yesterday, I didn't do a lot of filming yesterday. We ended up, I just got quarter round, and I need to get a whole bunch more. But there were some places where I could feel a little bit of air infiltrating in there. So I ended up using the expansion foam in those gaps and then putting the quarter round in there to help cut down on any cold air that's brewing through, because you can definitely feel it when it is really cold like it's been. And next week, I think the high temperature a couple of days are only going to be 20 degrees. So definitely want to take care of trying to keep it as warm as possible. Now this is kind of interesting because I've told people about how there's different grades of bricks, and they didn't waste anything at all in here. So when you look at some of the bricks that are in here, you can tell that they were looking at this You know, these bricks are kind of irregular, a little bit off a kilter and things, and so on. And then when you look at these bricks, that they're a lot more consistent, that these would have been the better bricks that were fired. And in the basement, when they did the foundation and stuff, I have a bunch of bricks that are really just jacked up. And I mean jacked up. Now, I'm not sure the base here, but these are some of the bricks that were misfired that are literally crooked. So I'm not sure if they had like a base on top of this or what, but this is kind of cray-cray, and you can see how they're curved right in there. Of course, the bricks that are up here are consistent. Down here, it's a crooked brick. So back in those days, you couldn't afford to waste anything. The time and materials, you know, when they made these bricks, and one of the reasons why they say that you have the hill that's back there is because that's where they dug up all the clay to make the bricks. So if you're digging up all that clay, you know, wetting it down and heating it up and all that, and you go through the trouble of, you know, I'm trying to imagine a furnace that would have been run with probably wood originally or coal, that you're not going to sit here and say, oh, it's a messed up one, let's throw it away. In the same way that these days we end up, oh, there's a spot on the tomato, we can't sell that. No, it was hard to come by stuff, so they did not waste any of it. So yeah, they used those bricks. They definitely used those bricks.